Good morning. We still got some folks coming on in. It's wonderful to see all of you today as we gather this Sunday after Labor Day. And as we settle in for the hour, let's pause now to center our minds and our hearts for worship, for lifting up that which is of worth. And we begin with words by Paul H.L. Heroux. We gather in community to rest from our labors, to greet our neighbors, and to open our being to insight and intuition of that greater reality of which we are a part. May we find in our time together today inspiration and renewal. May we touch the holy in each other and be touched by the graciousness of life. May we find here a calm peacefulness that will carry us through the days ahead. So come, my friends, and let's worship together.
Good morning. It's time for us to light our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition. Would a volunteer like to come forward to light our chalice flame this morning? Great. Our chalice lighting words today are by the Reverend Robin F. Gray. In the presence of this fire, we hear the voice of our God, of our goddess, of our holy. You are on sacred ground. In the presence of the flame in me, in you, in us, moving, resting, gathering, we are on sacred ground. In the presence of this fire, we are compelled to take up a torch, to carry a flame, to seek a sacred ground. In the presence of this spark, we are committed to light the fire of passion, of life, of holy work, and to journey towards truth on sacred ground. And now please stand as you're able for our affirmation by James Villa Blake. Please repeat each line after me, which helps our littlest UUs participate, even if they can't read yet. Love is the spirit of this fellowship.
Love is the spirit of this fellowship.
And service is its law.
And service is its law.
This is our great covenant.
This is our great covenant.
To dwell together in peace.
To dwell together in peace.
To seek the truth in love.
To seek the truth in love.
And to help one another.
And to help one another.
And now, let's stay standing for our opening hymn. If any junior worship helpers would like to join us up here to lead our hymn, please come up now. No takers today. Bring your gray hymnal. Our opening hymn today is number 94. What life is this?
May be new for some of you, so we're going to go through it. I'm going to sing a line and then have you repeat after me. What is this life if full of care? Everyone? What is this life if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. We have no time to stand and stare. No time to stand beneath the boughs. No time to stand beneath the boughs and stare as long as sheep or cows. And stare as long as sheep or cows. And let's all try that together. Ready? And
Good morning. I'm Bear Perblan, one of this new fellowship's year's worship associates. Welcome to the Morristown Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Welcome especially to newcomers, returning members, and anyone who joined us online today, which is pretty much everybody in the world. If you're tuning in live or on YouTube or Facebook, please say hi in the chat or comments. We're delighted to have you with us. We're a community of many ages, but we all worship together. You can join us many ways on Sundays, including online, here in the sanctuary, or from many rooms in our buildings, where we live stream the service. In particular, I want to draw your attention to our family room for families with little ones, which is located out our doors and to your right. The family room is especially great if you need a space to talk, soothe a crying infant, or get the wiggles out. Our service is live streamed there, so you won't miss a thing. Kids of all ages are always welcome in our services, but we offer childcare as an additional option for families with small children ages 9 months to 5 years. Parents, if you find yourself, or grandparents, in need of childcare at any point during worship today, please bring your little one to room A in our Gateway Center. Again, welcome to everyone here with us today. We're glad you're here.
Our story today comes from the Christian Bible. It's in the book of Luke, and I like the book of Luke because it was written by a lawyer. He was a lawyer, and he loves rules. And so the story is about rules, kind of. The story of these two sisters, and they are named Martha and Mary, and they invite Jesus over to their house for a meal. And Martha, she's the older sister, and she is working on putting together this meal. She's doing all of the preparations, and then when Jesus and his followers come, the disciples, she's the one putting out all the cheeses and all the whatever the accoutrements that go out, right? She's serving the meal, right? I don't know if anyone can identify with that person during a party, but some of us work pretty hard during the party. We hang out in the kitchen, and some of us, like me, don't like anyone else in that kitchen because it's my space and you're all in my way. And so I imagine this is what Martha was. And now her younger sister, and that's what, if anyone's read or watched The Handmaid's Tale, that's where the Marthas come from. So she's working hard, she's doing the service, she's doing all of the things. And Mary, the younger sister, in classic younger child, I'm the oldest of 6, so I got some resentment, but the classic younger child move there is not helping. She's just hanging out with everyone, with Jesus and all the disciples. And Martha, as a aggrieved older child, comes in and is very upset and says, Jesus, Mary should be helping. Aren't you upset that she's not helping me do all this work, prepare all this food, create this wonderful meal for you? And Jesus says, no, I'm not particularly upset about it. Sometimes there's times to do work, and sometimes there's times to sit and have conversation and community. That's our story today, and hopefully it'll be wrapped up later. I can leave them wanting more.
It's time now for our milestones and passages. You know, on Sunday mornings, we sometimes come to this place with a lot on our hearts. Maybe your family is celebrating a joy. Maybe there's something that's difficult that's going on in your life right now. And children can have joys and sorrows too, things that make you happy or sad. And whatever your age and whatever the joys and sorrows of your own life, you can share them in our service on Sunday mornings by filling out our milestones and passages form online before 9 a.m. on Sunday. That form can be found in our newsletter and on our website. And you can also fill out one of these cards before our service and turn it in to have your joy or sorrow shared in our service. So we have a few milestones and passages to share today that people have submitted. So I invite you to please respond after each by saying, we hold you in our hearts. And if you are joining us online today, I invite you to participate in the chat or in the comments. And this morning we have One joy to share. Kylie and Jenna Garabed share that today is their first wedding anniversary, and I had the pleasure of marrying them this time last year. Congratulations. We hold you in our hearts. Let's go ahead now and take a quiet moment for the prayers and meditations of our own hearts. This is a reminder to take this kind of time for ourselves, maybe a little bit each day, maybe certainly at least each week. So go ahead and close your eyes and get comfy in your chair. Take some time just focusing on your breathing. Just let your breath move in and out of your body. Maybe listen to the breath of the people around you, this community that you were part of. And breath sometimes is known as ruach, breath, spirit. So go ahead and let yourself, as the breath is moving in and out of you, feel the spirit of life and love that's holding all of us together in this still moment. Let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths together and then a moment of silence. Amen and blessed be. And let's go ahead and remain seated now as we sing number 86 together, Blessed Spirit of My Life, which you can find in your gray hymnal as well as on our screen.
Our reading this morning is Beauty is Our Birthright by the Reverend Dr. Rebecca Savage, who serves as the senior minister at the UU Congregation of Rockville, Maryland. She's a permanent member of the Ministerial Fellowship Committee and served previously as a military chaplain and a licensed professional counselor. She writes, "Sometimes we awake in the morning with a heaviness in our chest. Sometimes we awake in the morning with the endless to-do list rattling through our thoughts, the nagging reminders of what was left undone yesterday, and the pangs of, I have to do it all again today, pinching at our sides. Sometimes we awake in the morning and we'd rather go back to sleep. We would rather escape under the covers, a rock, the bottom of the closet. And then the first sliver of sunshine may dance across our face. Beautiful. And then the wafting scent of a new day may glide over us. Beautiful. And then signs of life blossom around us to include inside of us. Beautiful. Beauty is our birthright. Just as we are born in love, through love, to nurture beauty is to return to our essence, to touch, taste, and experience creation as beautiful, as the fragile, wonderful, and wild interdependence with the spirit of life, that which is so much greater than ourselves. May beauty wrap and delight us and guide our way. May beauty be yours now and forever. Amen and Ashi. We now come to the time in our service each Sunday when we pause to offer our gifts of financial support to this congregation. Your donations make all that we do together possible and also help make our wider community a better place. That's because each Sunday we give at least half of the money we collect to an organization that is doing good work to advance our Unitarian Universalist values of love, justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity in a world that hungers for them now more than ever. Today's offering will be split 50-50 with Homeless Solutions, helping the homeless and at-risk community of Morris County. You may give in our collection plate or by following the instructions printed in your order of service and shown on the screen. Thank you in advance for your generosity.
There's a great painting that illustrates the story from Christian scripture that Nick shared with us earlier, the story about the two sisters, Mary and Martha. And the painting is by the 17th century German artist, George Friedrich Stettner. Right up there. So take a look at this thing. This painting is something else. Here we have a bunch of people who are gathered together in a nice home where the makings of an enormous feast are spread out in the front of the painting. There are plates of grapes, there's some plums and other less identifiable fruits. There are baskets of all kinds of vegetables, and fish and meat are piled up there on the cutting board. And the men are dressed in what appears to be something like Roman fashion, and the women look suspiciously like 17th century Germans, which is definitely how people dressed in ancient Israel, right? Now, Jesus, of course, is the one who's identifiable by the halo around his head. He's there on the left, and arguing with the woman on the right who seems to be holding some kind of poor goose by the neck. Now, that's Martha from our story earlier, the sister who was busy working and who was annoyed that her sister wasn't lifting a single finger to help. And her sister Mary is the lady there in the middle who sits between Jesus and Martha as they argue. And it looks like she's reading a Bible the size of an encyclopedia. Now, it's no wonder that that Martha and Jesus were arguing there in the painting and in the story that it depicts, because after all, the debate about when we should work and when we should rest is one that has been raging since ancient times and still rages today. Now, I'm curious about whether you identify with Martha in this story. You are a hard worker. You do your part. You have a to-do list a mile long. You maybe even have a list of lists. And you like checking things off that list because it gives you a sense of accomplishment. Maybe you even put things on the list, like make list, so you can check that off the list. You are someone who likes to get things done, you deliver, and you may get a little bit annoyed when others are not doing the same. So raise your hand if that is you. I'm going to raise my hand too because that's me. I am a Martha, I confess it. Now, how many of you here are Marys? You know how to relax and be present. You might annoy others sometimes, but you're not too worried about that. You see no need to be on the go at all times. You have nothing against work, but you know that it can wait. It has its time and place, and maybe it even needs to wait. Maybe you are exhausted and you need rest, or maybe sitting back and taking life in is more important sometimes than getting things done. So raise your hand if that's you, if you are more of a Mary. I'm very amused, but it seems like with some of the couples here, we have one of each. So our world then is filled with both Marys and Marthas, and we need both. But unfortunately, our society tends to value Marthas more than Marys. Here in the United States in particular, we live in a capitalist society, and all too often our worth as human beings is defined by our productive capacity, by our ability to work and to contribute in ways that help our economy specifically. And as we grow up, we are expected to be like Martha. We are asked questions early in our lives, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Not what kind of person do you want to be? What kind of worker do you want to be? And we are encouraged to make something of ourselves as though we are not already something. We are told that we must become productive members of society. Our education shapes us carefully to one day be useful to the American workforce, something that is especially on my mind today as our children have returned to school. So when we become adults, then it is natural that one of the first questions that we tend to ask other people is, what do you do for a living? Because we define ourselves so often and one another by the ways that we contribute to society and to the economy. Now, I want to be clear that there is nothing wrong with being like Martha in the story and valuing hard work. I work. And I love my job, and I take pride in the things that I produce as part of my vocation and the ways that I contribute. And I'm sure that many of you have similar feelings about your own work. And we all know that work is necessary. There are many things that need to be done in our modern world, and someone has to do them. You know, we often talk about work as putting food on the table or bringing home the bacon. And even eating requires a whole massive system of both paid and unpaid labor. You know, dinner must be made, and breakfast and lunch too. Food crops have to be planted and harvested and distributed. Laws need to be made to help ensure that the food that we eat is safe. And research must be conducted to discover what foods are and are not good for us. And in order to help even bring in the paycheck that puts food on the table, someone has to do the payroll in a timely manner, and so much more. There's so much work, and much of that work is good, and much of it must be done by workers even in this time of artificial intelligence and robots. So it is easier to survive and to thrive in our society, in our particular society, if you are more like a Martha, if you are willing and able to engage in the kinds of work that are most valued in our society. And yet we are not all Marthas, as we have seen. And we can't all always work like Marthas, even if we are a Martha. Sometimes we need to pause in our labors and rest. And we will explore that more in a moment. But first, as is our custom here, let's go ahead and take a quick break from our sermon and sing together. Our song is number 204 in your gray hymnal, Come, O Sabbath Day. And we're going to sing just the first verse for now. And let's go ahead and stand, unless your body is needing some rest right now, in which case you can sit.
This also might be a new hymn for some of you, so we're going to go through it, and I'm going to sing a line and then have you repeat after me. Come, O Sabbath day, and bring, everyone. Come, O Sabbath day, and bring peace and healing on my wing. Peace and healing on thy wing. And to every weary one, and to every weary one, let a word of blessing come. Let a word of blessing come. Thou shalt rest. Thou shalt rest. Thou shalt rest. Thou shalt rest. And let's sing the first verse. Ready?
Now, I wish it wasn't true, but unfortunately our society doesn't have a whole lot of tolerance for the Marys among us. It doesn't have much respect for people who are resting instead of working, for those who are being present instead of being productive. If people assume that you are able to work but are choosing not to do so, they may become frustrated or even angry. Like Martha in this story became frustrated toward her sister. They may label you as lazy or even as useless. They may call you a freeloader or demand that you get a job. This lack of respect seems to stem from the assumption that we must earn the right to exist, earn the space that we occupy and the air that we breathe by contributing to the economy in some way. And heaven knows it extends beyond just disrespect. Our society is all too willing to let people starve to death or freeze on the streets if they are unwilling or unable to work in the ways that our society values. Just think about the perennial attacks on food stamps and welfare, to say nothing of the recent forced relocation of homeless folks in D.C. Sometimes when people assume that you can work, they are wrong. Some people are temporarily able-bodied and others are disabled. Sometimes our disabilities are visible and sometimes they are invisible. And some people are neurotypical and some people are neurodivergent. And we all have different relationships to work. Some of us can do physical labor, some can't. Some of us can work long hours, some need shorter days. And sometimes work itself is too difficult, too exhausting or painful or even just plain challenging for us to do it all. Now, there's an idea called spoon theory, and raise your hand if this is a concept that is familiar to you, spoon theory. So spoon theory is an idea that came out of the disability community, and it helps folks understand the energy that is needed for tasks of daily living. So think as a spoon, as a spoonful of fuel that can be consumed to complete a task. So some activities take only a few spoons to complete, like maybe taking a medication. And then other activities take more spoons to complete, like going to a doctor's appointment, or even setting up an appointment so that you can get a prescription renewed. Those things take more spoons than simply opening the container and taking a pill. So each person has a different number of spoons available to them each day. And if we are physically and mentally healthy, we may have more spoons at our disposal. And if we are chronically ill or living with a disability, we may have fewer spoons available to use each day. Now, some of us get up for work in the morning, we get dressed, we make breakfast, and once that coffee has kicked in, we have lots of energy still for the workday ahead of us and the activities afterward. And others may find that just getting out of bed drains all of the energy that they have for the day. Some days it may feel like there is no more to give. And in order to recharge your spoons, you need to rest. The problem is, though, that it is hard to rest in our society because exhaustion is a status symbol in a world that values us for our productive capacity. Working to the point of exhaustion lets us say to each other, I am more than just a productive member of society. See, I worked myself to the bone for this economy. No one can dispute that I am a hard worker and that I have value. For some, I'll sleep when I'm dead is a motto to live by. Or sleep is for the weak. I know I've said that one before. And our society does assume all too often that we really are weak if we are unable or unwilling to work. So many people who are living with disabilities are told things like, stop using your disability as an excuse to slack off. Or if you just worked harder on your health, if you just did yoga, made some green smoothies, went to this or that doctor, ran a marathon, took care of yourself better, you would be able to do so much more. But sometimes the answer is not actually more work, and that list of things is actually more work. Sometimes we really just need to rest, and it is good when we do so, when we rest. One might even say that rest is godly, is sacred. And we'll get into that a little bit more in a moment, but we're going to go ahead and sing our next verse first, and we're going to stay seated for this one. I think that I'm talking about rest on what is sometimes known as the Day of Rest. Now, I'm not a big fan of the 10 Commandments, which really should say things like do not enslave people, but I do like the commandment to keep the Sabbath. Actually, the commandment reads, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, you or your son or your daughter, your male servant, your female servant, your livestock, or the sojourner who is within your gates. For in the 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Rest is holy and a blessing. Our money-worshiping society treats rest as though it is something profane, but in fact, it is a great gift that can be deeply spiritual if we let it be. When we stop working for a paycheck or stop doing unpaid tasks in our daily lives, when we take a pause from these things, so much can become possible for us. We have time for rest and recovery and renewal. We have time, if we need it, to heal, to recover our balance, maybe to center ourselves again. We have time to really hear our thoughts, that still small voice inside that we sang about, and also to hear our deepest selves, maybe to get to know ourselves better. We have time perhaps to simply be present and open to the life that's unfolding all around us. Time for some deepening awareness, for connection and community, for gratitude. All of these things require us to slow down sometimes. Such times remind us that we are more than what we produce. We are more than what we do. We are not our work. We are not reduced to the things that we do or to the things that we do not do. A bank teller is not just a bank teller. A preschool teacher is not just a teacher. A mother is not just a mother. I'm not just a minister. Our jobs and the work that we do in life may be part of who we are, but we are so much more than our work and the things that we do. And when we stop working, we still remain somebody. Our worth and our dignity aren't dependent on what we contribute to our society. They are inherent to us, not something that is earned. Our divine inner spark is innate to us, a part of our very humanness. It doesn't sputter out and die just because we maybe aren't sometimes productive in a way that is valued by our society. We have inherent worth and dignity simply by existing. We are important. We matter. The world is more beautiful because you are in it. You deserve to be treated well and to have good things in your life because you are here on this planet and for no other reason. You deserve love, community, respect, inclusion, and rights, even if you cannot work. You don't have to do anything to become worthy of the abundance of life that we all share. You do not have to be useful or productive to be worthy because you are already worthy. And yet here's the paradoxical thing. We don't have to be useful, but strangely we can actually be more useful to the great common life that we all share together when we rest from our labors periodically. The day of rest is sometimes, as we sang in our hymn, sometimes called the Sabbath or Shabbat. And both words are related to the idea of a sabbatical year, a time every 7 years when fields in ancient times were allowed to remain fallow. And that practice helps the land to regenerate so that it will be more ready to support abundant crops in the future. So rest can actually make us more productive. For human beings, taking a periodic Sabbath or Shabbat, whether on weekends or some other time, can also help to create space in our lives for us to discover and to nurture our innermost selves so that they can shine more brightly than ever in a world that needs them. Howard Thurman once said, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go and do that, because what the world needs is people who have come alive." My friends, we are made for more than just the daily grind. We were made for joy and for play. We were made for contemplation and dreaming. We were made for art and beauty. We were made just to exist and to rejoice in our own aliveness and that of the other beings that we share this planet with, this miraculous life with. So may we find space in our lives to just breathe and be. May those labors that we do undertake not just ensure our day-to-day survival, but enrich our lives so we can truly thrive. And may we find a balance in our lives for both labor as well as for rest. Amen. Blessed be. May it be so. And now before we sing the last verse of our hymn together, let us share together in a responsive reading. Bayat.
I'm a big fan of rest, but now I'm going to ask you to do some work. Let's join our voices together now in responsive reading by Dan Lambert. Please respond. We need a time of Sabbath rest after each of my lines. Because the daily pressure of life weighs heavy on our minds, on our bodies, and on our spirits. We need a time of Sabbath rest. Because the stresses of our culture often leaves us feeling burdened and looking for hope. We need a time of Sabbath rest. Because rest, fun, leisure, and naps help us cope and feel refreshed. We need because we think more clearly, love more freely, and share more joyfully when we are well rested. Giver of life, help us recognize when we need to stop and care for ourselves. Allow us to enjoy a Sabbath as often as we need one. Allow us to rest without guilt, so that we may work with more joy. We are thankful for the gift of Sabbath rest. Amen. And now let's raise our voices one more time in song with that last verse of Come, O Sabbath Day. It's number 204 in your gray hymnal. Before we close, I'd like to draw your attention to our Minutes for Ministries. This is a time when we share brief updates about our congregation's activities to help you stay engaged with our community beyond our Sunday service. This morning, I'd like to draw your attention to the following announcements. Any newcomers with us today are invited to fill out a welcome card to help you get connected with us. You can also talk to our welcome ambassador, who would love to meet you and answer any questions. Look for the sunny gold sash. Anyone needing a caring presence this morning will find a compassioning listening ear with one of our lay pastoral care associates. You'll recognize them by their sky blue sashes. Any sky blue sashes in the audience? Oh. All right. I see somebody raising a hand. Yeah. Will today's welcome ambassador and lay pastoral care associates please stand or wave so we can see you? I think we've sort of done that. Thank you. Please join us after today's service for our monthly mindfulness meditation session, which will be in room 209 at 11:30 a.m. This Thursday, September 11, children in 3rd through 8th grade are invited to join us for our brand new children's choir. Our first rehearsal is at 6 p.m. this week. I'm not sure where, but I'm sure if you show up here, somebody will tell you. This Saturday, September 13th, join us for the Reeds Rhythm and Brass Swing Big Band concert at 7 p.m. All proceeds go to the mortgage prevention phase of our capital campaign. Last August, we crossed over needing less than $400,000 in additional pledges to pay off the construction loan for the addition and related work. We are now closing in on needing less than $300,000. You keep this going, pretty soon they'll owe us money. Well done. Next Sunday, be sure to join us for our annual in-gathering service, and remember to bring water with you from your home or your summer travels for our water ceremony. Also, know that a new school year is underway. We invite learners of all ages to bring their backpack or book bag with them for in-gathering for a special blessing. Finally, after next week's service, we'll have a potluck, so please bring a dish to share. So that's 3 things to remember to bring with you next week: your water, your backpack, and your dish for the potluck. See you there. Details about these and many other activities, including dates, times, and locations, can be found on the back of your order of service, our weekly e-newsletter, or on our website at muuf.org. And now, since it's no later than 10:58 a.m., I open the mic to announcements from our ministry teams and committees. Please keep your announcements to 1 minute or less. We will end our announcement by 11 a.m. sharp.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nan Perigo, I'm your board president, and I wanted to let folks know that we are planning a 70th anniversary party for January 31st, and we're starting to put together the party planners. So if you're interested in helping put together the party for that day, please contact the board, myself, or Reverend Sasha. Thank you. Save the date.
I'll do this quickly because I know Beth will knock me down if I'm too long. She's bigger and stronger than I am. And this sounds like a shameless plug and also antithetical to our theme today, but I'd like to draw your attention to a group called UU Faith Action. We're especially concerned with two items concerning immigration issues right now and also environmental issues. It's easy enough to find on the web, UU Faith Action, and it's led by our former intern minister, Reverend Charles Laughlin. So please give it a look if you have a chance. Thanks a lot.
I'm announcing another party, and that's my 75th birthday party, and you're all invited on September 27th, and I'm going to hang up all my quilts around Chew Hall, so you get to look at all of them too. And please RSVP. Thank you.
I'm Noelle Jensen, and I'm here representing the Social Justice Ministry. UUA Faith Action has asked us to see what kind of trainings you all are interested in. So I have a form out there behind the welcome table that you can fill out to let me know what kind of trainings you'd like them to come and offer the congregation. And I also have a rainbow protest project, so you can ask me about that when you get your form.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and repeat it from up here. Ah, perfect. There we go.
We often highlight members in the fellowship that do special things. On September 18th, a Thursday night at 7:30, Arta Boucher, a Romanian novelist and a friend of the fellowship, will be discussing her book, Loss, Voyage and Rebirth, and after the presentation there will be a question and answer period and light refreshments. So please come, and if you're moved to bring some extra goodies, it's very welcome. Thank you. It'll be in Chew Hall, by the way. Thank you.
We have a whole 10 minutes more if people want to make more announcements. I think we're good. All right, I guess it's time for us to bring our time of worship to a close, but although we extinguish our chalice flame, its light will continue to burn in our hearts. And as we go out into our daily lives, I leave you with the words of Rebecca Savage. Eternal beloved, that which is greater than ourselves, hear our prayer of affirmation. Today is the day. Today is our day. Gone are the days when we slumbered unaware of the blessings we are. We follow the path of inherent worth. Gone are the days when we did not embrace the spirit of life that moves through us and with us. We follow the path of prophetic witness. Gone are the days when we allowed the urgency of others' expectations to dictate our lives. We follow the path of serenity. Gone are the days when rest was forbidden as a delicacy reserved only for those who are bone dry. We follow the path of perpetual renewal and spiritual growth. Gone are the days when we felt as if we are not enough. We follow the path of grace. Today is the day. Today is our day. May we be bold in our faith, declaring that gone are the days. We are Unitarian Universalists. We are the blessings we seek for this world and the beloved community that we are building. Amen. Blessed be, and go in peace.
was the one. No, she was.